Now, for my outgoing living large people, this may not seem like a big deal, and it's only happened once because people who know me know that it's not likely that I do drugs. do. For the rest, I was equally shocked that someone thought I was badass enough to actually do drugs. Also, drugs aren't badass. Say no to drugs, kids, and stay in school. So, as flattering as that may seem, it actually made me pretty mad and still does when I think about it, and for so many reasons. But let me backtrack to how all this happened. This was back in my 3rd year of uni, and we were going to a site visit to Kajiado. Since Kajiado isn't far from Nairobi, we would go back and forth because we went for, I think, 3 days. So day 1, we went, no big deal, did the field work. On our way back, someone brought up the issue of getting our allowance because we're supposed to get one when we go for trips like these to cater for maybe lunch and whatnot. Now, this spun into a whole fiasco with our lecturers, and the next day, the whole class decided not to get on the bus till we got our allowance. We then had a meeting with our lecturers and our department head, and we even called the student council. Like, the whole thing, it's just a whole other story on its own. We had never seen anyone talk to our beep of a department head like the student council president did. It was pretty epic, but only in that moment, because that council president was all talk. He did nothing for us. That politician. Anyway, we get to the bus, and on the way, one of our student lecturers called one of the class reps. We were 2 classes combined, and each had 2 class reps. So she called the class rep, and then the other, and then she called me too. I was also a class rep, so I wasn't worried. I knew she was probably going to talk about the class behavior and our role and blah blah blah. So I went in front where she had sat. No big deal, nothing major to worry about. She started casually with how I'm doing and stuff like that. Then she asked if anything is wrong. I got a bit confused there. Then she was like, have you started drinking? Like, dude, the alcohol content in my body is like a constant 0.0001%. So I told her no and that I don't drink. Kwanzaa, she asked specifically if I had started drinking beer. Like, why are you making assumptions about me? Why not wine or, I don't know, Chardonnay or something? That wasn't even it. She then asked if I was pregnant. Like, what? Excuse me? I was extra confused, like, where in the world is all this coming from? And it didn't end there. She even had the nerve to ask me if I had gotten married. My single behind was appalled, like, what? And I find it insulting that she would assume getting married would lead to some kind of drastic change in my behavior. I think I asked her why, and then she was like, a few of the lecturers have noticed a change in your behavior since last year. Well, of course there's a change. I was a timid first-year student, and now I'm a slightly less timid, more experienced third-year student. And it was ironic because that had been the year I decided to get extra serious with my studies and be more focused. You decide to try, and this is what happens, folks. Anyway, she went on to say how she knows I've been part of the group that's been doing drugs, and okay, it was just weed, it's not like drugs. It sounds like I was snorting cocaine or something. So she tells me she thinks I've been doing drugs and I need to reevaluate stuff. What made me angry about this is that a few days before, she had told us that they have a list of people who are known to smoke weed in our class and blah blah blah. Now, of course, in university, there are people who do drugs apart from, just weed and all. But unajua, wazee wakiongelea watu wa bangi, this is what they have in mind. So these lecturers wananiangalia and this is what they see. And worst of all, our department ilikuwa na watiaji sana na walikuwa na moshene mingi. So I'm just imagining them in their office talking about me smoking weed. Me. Now, I'm sorry if you're a relatively good person who does weed, but I found that accusation highly offensive, especially the comparison with first-year me, who was kind of worse because I may or may not have dabbled in it. I was a changed person. I had even joined the Christian Union. In uni! I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Anyway, so later on, I came to realize that that's just how she is, and she was just being motherly. And this would make for a great motivational movie or TED Talk had I actually needed this talk in the first place and changed my ways, but I didn't need it. It was a false accusation, and I will forever be bitter about it. If you are watching and you are actually letting drugs or even something else come between you and your education or something important for your growth as a person, then you probably do need to hear her advice and should think things through well and, I don't know, reevaluate your life or something. Hashtag life coach. Yeah, so that was it. I may have exaggerated. No, I didn't exaggerate. She did accuse me of doing drugs, alcohol, getting married, getting pregnant. And it was a whole heap. So anyway, thank you for listening to my random story, and don't forget to smash that like button. Also share and subscribe. Yeah, especially subscribe. And yeah, with that, you'll see me next time. Bye bye.